Hello, everybody.
Hello.
My name is Shannon.
I'm Alyssa.
Welcome back to another episode of B Movie Bash.
B Movie Bash.
Is it Christmas anymore?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. Maybe not.
I think we might be trickling out of. I don't know when this is going to go up.
Merry time of the year.
Happy days to you, sir, or madam, or you.
You.
Hello. I don't know what this is. Anyway, should we just get into it, I guess?
Yeah, let's get into it. So first of all, I do want to dedicate this particular podcast recording to my bunkmate, Easton, because she was our first donation to our, it was PayPal?
Supporter on coffee.
Coffee, yes. Yeah. So thank you, bunkmate. You're the best bunkmate.
So
I love you.
That's very sweet. Okay.
It's a thing. It's a thing.
It's from the thing. It's from,
Yeah, it's a thing.
Homestar.
So, yeah. Teen Girl Squad. Yeah. So, we are going to be talking about 2009's 4.1 rating on IMDb.
Okay.
Silent Night, Zombie Night.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Yes, and I feel like you can't really ever go wrong with a zombie movie. Mm-hmm. And they did.
Yeah, I feel like you definitely can.
Yeah. Normally, I mean, it's just like, it's a zombie movie. You just have you're just fighting zombies. Like, there really shouldn't be anything too complicated about that, you know? Like, zombies are just fun. You just fuck up zombies the whole movie.
Yeah.
And they fucked this up.
Okay.
So, yes, so there's two versions of the explanation of the movies, and I guess one of them is like a fan synopsis, so I didn't go with that one.
Okay.
So I went with like the actual synopsis. So, a week before Christmas, a viral outbreak turns the citizens of Los Angeles into the Walking Dead. On the brink of severing ties with both his wife and longtime partner, LAPD officer Frank Talbot finds himself trapped with them. As death closes in, there should be a comma there. There's not a comma there. Anyway, their survival is further threatened by the fact that both men love the same woman.
Oh, boy.
So that's the plot of this movie.
And now we know the whole story.
Yeah, that's... So we start off, and this starts off real fast. Okay. And, they have so many transitions that, I swear they weren't even done saying, the word they were saying, and then it just changes to the next scene. And I was like, okay.
Okay. We didn't need to know what they said anyway.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
So we start off with Sarah sitting in her car crying. Oh. And a neighbor woman approaches and gets her to roll down her window. And she starts off by oh my gosh, I had so much fun at the Christmas party. Honey, what's wrong? Obviously she's crying. And she's like, no, it's nothing. It's fine. And the neighbor goes, you're leaving him, aren't you? And she's like, yeah, I am. And she's like, it's about time. And then gets tackled to the ground.
Okay.
By something. And so I'm going to, it's a whole bunch of, back and forth between this part, but I'm just going to tell you what happens to Sarah, and I'm going to tell you what happens to the other guys.
Okay.
So Sarah freaks out, jumps out of the car, because who the fuck just tackled my neighbor, right? And sees that, he's very much just, attacking her, and the woman's on the ground screaming for her life, who this woman, I don't know if it was actually her screaming, or if it was, an overlay stock scream. Mm-hmm. It was a pretty good scream. Okay. But she grabs a baseball bat out of the back of her car. And I, for a good minute, was like, who has a baseball bat sitting in the back of their car? And then I remember her husband's a police officer, so he's probably keep a bat in your car. Plus, they're in Los Angeles, so keep a bat in your car. So she grabs a baseball bat from the back of her car and yells for him to get off of her. And he turns, and he is clearly a zombie, right? Okay. Just blood. He's got the eyes. He looks like he's decaying. Though? It's decent.
Okay.
It's decent. It's pretty decent.
Okay.
And he looks to her, clearly a zombie, but then goes back to munching on the neighbor because she's already there. Yeah. So she whacks him in the head a few times. It takes 4 or 5 times as she's screaming for him to get off of her before he finally collapses. And she runs up to the neighbor and is like, oh my gosh, don't worry. I'm gonna call 911. They're gonna be here soon. And the neighbor just barfs this insane amount of black blood just all over her.
Boy.
And that's it. That's her scene. Okay?
Yeah.
At the same time, Frank, who is Sarah's husband.
So many Franks.
Yes. And Nash are LAPD. They have been partners for a very long time. They have been friends for a very long time, apparently. And they pull up randomly on a street and get out of their car. Mm-hmm. I don't know what they were called. Anyway. It may have been what happens here in a moment, but they are communicating right now.
Okay.
And Nash gets out of the car and he goes, I put in my transfer. After Friday, that's it. I'm done. And Nash goes, why wait? Why not just quit now? Kind of a thing. And he's like, Frank is the cockiest son of a bitch I've ever met in my life. Okay. Everything that came out of his mouth, I was like, how has no one murdered you yet? The way you talk, everything you say, you fucking son of a bitch. Like, all right. Yeah. He's just an absolute asshole, right? And then Nash replies, nobody hits me, Frank. Nobody. Just like that, right? Okay. And he's like, listen, I know we've been friends for a long time and I know you're in a hard way, but that's, you know, like, you're not going to hit me again kind of a thing, right? And apparently, we get a little bit of backstory later, that Frank was drunk at the said Christmas party that the one neighbor was talking about earlier. Okay. And punched Nash in the face. Ooh. So, like, just straight up decked him in the face, right?
What a good friend.
Right? Super good friend. And Frank does this whole, like, I'm not in a bad way. I'm effing fantastic or something like that. I don't remember. And then he does this weird little, like, chicken thing at him and then walks away. And I was like, okay, that's who this man is.
Yeah, that's the vibe we're putting down. Yep. Great.
At the same moment, a man in a wheelchair rolls up to them and he's like, officers, officers. And he may have been the one who called the police in the first place, but I don't know because he literally looks like, oh, there's police right there. Let me roll up to them kind of a thing. And his hand is bandaged, and he says that he's been bit, and that the neighbor girl did it, and he was like, I thought she was hit by a car because she was covered in blood, and I went to go over and see if she's okay, and then she bit me, and then her mom ran out and grabbed her and took her back into the house. There was a bunch of screaming, and it's quiet now. And he goes, but it's not the kind of quiet I like. And this man in the wheelchair, that we see very briefly for these, like, few interactions, is the best actor of the movie.
Of course. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
they can only pay him to be there for 2 minutes.
For 2 minutes, yeah. So they go up to the house, okay, and Frank starts looking inside. Nash turns and sees this woman crouching on the porch, covered in blood, who flies at him, like flings up and jumps at him, knocks him down, and starts biting at his shoe, right? Okay. Nash does nothing. He's just like, get off me, right? He doesn't kick her. Yeah. He doesn't punch her. He doesn't do shit.
Kick the bitch off.
But no, she's just biting at his shoe. And good actress because she's biting at his shoe. Yeah. And
like, we get some Clorox wipes in here, please?
Right. He's yelling at Frank to shoot her because, you know. But my favorite is he is yelling, shoot this little girl, Frank.
She's not a little girl.
No, she is a full-grown adult. Like, she's an adult, okay? But not only that, beside the fact that there's a zombie apocalypse going on, okay? Like, put that aside. Maybe this is just a woman high on crack or something that is just attacking him, okay?
Meth is a hell of a drug.
Yeah. Drugs are a hell of a drug.
Yes.
And he, like, whatever it is, he's literally out there screaming at the top of his lungs, shoot this little girl.
Yeah. Not good.
And I'm like, that's how you get fired and arrested. You shouldn't do that.
What did she look? She looked like an adult?
She was an adult. She was just straight up an adult. There's no way, like, if she was any shorter, she'd be my height. Like, kind of a thing, you know? Like, it just...
Weird.
Yeah, she was very much an adult, okay? Possibly a teenager, but, like, they kept saying little girl, and, like, just...
This isn't a 9-year-old.
Yeah, so... Okay. Anyway... So then there's a gunshot, right? And then it, like, goes to the credits, the opening credits, right? Which there is a badass version of Carol of the Bells going on right now.
Where is all this cool music?
I don't know. I even used Shazam because I could not remember Carol of the Bells. I was like, what is this song called? What is it called, right? But it's like this awesome guitar riff, like Carol of the Bells. And it straight up was written for the movie. Ooh. Like, whoever it was that did it, wrote it for the movie. And it is fucking awesome. But there's this montage, the first of the three, and this is fine because I'm totally okay with montages over opening credits and stuff to, like, set the scene. But it's the same scene that they just keep cutting, like, clips into. Okay. And it's a car salesman who goes up to, like, help this guy at the car lot, and the guy obviously is a zombie, turns around and bites him on the hand, and he, like, beats the zombie off, or fights the zombie off, and...
Your face. I did not think about that at all, you terrible person.
Yes, I am.
There's one.
There's one, yep. Fights the zombie off, looks over, there's another zombie that looks like, I don't know, he looks like he's a Walmart employee, he's got the blue vest on and everything, there's just all this nonsense going on. The guy's screaming and then he becomes a zombie, right? The car salesman becomes a zombie. But I was like sitting here expecting like more people to be attacked, kind of, you know, like just more of that.
Like, here's 2 zombies now.
And here's another one. Here's another random person getting attacked. Here's another random person getting attacked. No, there's just now a bunch of people being zombies. So it's whatever. So then after the credits, we see Frank frantically driving down the road while Nash is screaming like a little bitch in the back seat about how he's gonna die, right? Okay. And just keeps like looking at his foot, and he is like like just the whole time screaming like that. And I was like, okay, Nash.
All right.
Okay. And the whole time Frank is like, you're gonna be fine, Nash. You're gonna be fine. And Nash is like, I'm gonna fucking die. I'm gonna fucking die. And Frank's like, no, you're fine. You're okay. And Nash goes, I can't believe you shot me in the fucking foot.
Oh, God.
And I was like, okay.
There was such a large target.
Yep.
How?
I don't.
Unless he was going straight for the head, I guess. But like, come on.
Yeah.
You're a cop.
Right? You're not supposed to go for the head. You go for the torso.
I mean,
as
if
a
you
cop,
knew it was a zombie.
Sure. But they didn't know it was a zombie.
Oh, okay.
And also, apparently, while the credits were going, Frank had taken Nash to the hospital, but because they say this later on in the movie, that the hospital was totally overrun by zombies, so they just jumped back in the car and drove away because, you know. Okay. And I was like, why didn't they show that? And I thought, too expensive to film. Yeah. Got it.
Too many people, too much place.
Yeah, they couldn't even, like, fake it, though. They couldn't find anywhere to even, like, pretend to be a hospital. Right. But, like, it's whatever. Yeah. So they pull up to Nash's house just as Sarah is, like, coming up the stairs. Like, so I guess he lives in this, like, apartment complex that has a front entrance that goes upstairs that takes you to, like, whatever apartments you're going to or whatever. But he also has a back entrance that goes into like a backyard kind of down some set of stairs, right? Okay. And I was like, okay, but it's LA, so whatever.
Yeah. I don't live in apartments, right? I don't know.
I just do think it's hilarious though that all of his windows have bars on them. Decorative, but bars. And I was like, yeah, that's
cute.
That's fun to live in a place where you need bars on your windows.
Suicide bars.
Yep.
To keep people out.
Keep people out.
Okay,
yep.
That makes more sense.
Which, I mean, it helps them in this situation, but that's not the point here. Okay. But yeah, so they see Sarah right there, right? And she's like covered in blood kind of a thing. And Frank pulls his gun on her and she's like, Frank! And he's like, oh, duck! And so she ducks. And there's a zombie that he shoots behind her. And then they all go running inside, right? And she's like, what the fuck happened? Kind of a thing. And he's like, oh, he got shot in the foot, blah, blah, blah. And they pull off his shoe and one of his toes falls out. Oh. So clearly he shot off his toe. And Nash, seeing this, passes out. And I was like,
what cop?
I know. I'm like, I would maybe pass out.
Like, that's not the line of work for you.
That's, sir. So I just, anyway.
Okay.
So yeah, he passes out of sight. He wakes up a moment later. He just, I think just like of shock, just passed out, right? He wakes up a moment later as Sarah's like, well, how are we going to stitch it back on? And Frank is like, I can't stitch this back on. And so he goes and heats up a knife over the stove and it's going to cauterize it, right? Because, ow. But like, it's the best way to do it, you know? Okay. But like the best part is that he's standing there with this like very plastic, like army knife, you know, with his serrated, all that stuff over the open flame. And it doesn't even get red. Like they couldn't even fake it with a real knife. Like he doesn't. And he comes up and he's standing there watching them for a moment. Okay. Just like watching them because Sarah's got Nash in her arms and it's like, it's okay. Rubbing his head and then like kisses his head. She's like, it's okay. We got you. Right. A very friendly thing to do. And the whole time Frank is like, kind of a look, you know, like I know something's up kind of a thing. Okay. And she's like,
you gonna fucking
are we gonna do the thing? Yeah. And he is like, yeah, okay, well, we're gonna do this. And so they do. He puts the knife on there. Nash passes out again, right? And the whole time Frank is like putting it on, like enjoying it. Yeah. And I was like, okay, guys.
What's the age range here? Like, what are we looking at?
I want to say are like in their late 30s, mid 30s to late 30s kind of a thing.
Sarah too?
Frank seems a little older, but Sarah seems, you know, in her 30s.
Also, just a quick think back. I think this is the third movie you've had a Frank in.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, probably. Yeah, there's a lot of Franks.
Just saying.
So he passes out, and Sarah kind of freaks out about that because she's like, oh my gosh, is he dead? Frank leans over, feels his pulse, and he's like, no, he's just passed out from the pain. Don't worry, sweetheart. He's going to be fine. And she's like, okay, right?
Thanks.
And so Frank goes out to his police car to call dispatch to see what the fuck is going on, right? Nobody responds, but he sees a zombie walking down the road, eating somebody's arm, very plasticky, like, just, I don't blame him, though. It's a zombie movie. It's fine. It's whatever.
Yeah.
So they're walking down the road, and he gets out with his shotgun and shoots him. And, like, it was like they took a foam head and, like, had it pre-cut up so that it would just, like, explode.
Yeah.
But it's, like, full-blown, like, cut chunks of head.
Like, this is a quarter of the head and a quarter of the head.
Exactly. Like, it straight up looks like you took a watermelon and cut it into fours, kind of a thing. But then, like, with blood and viscera all over, too, right? You know? And so, but at the sound of that, it draws way more aggressive-looking zombies, including the car salesman zombie, right?
Good.
And he's kind of a zombie that they show a few times in the movie, so he's not an antagonist, but he's an antagonist.
Okay.
So they come running at him, and he runs back inside and locks the door. And so I had to explain a little bit. The back stairs that leads up to the back door also has a window where the bathroom is, like on the side of it.
Okay.
So when you open the door, it kind of covers the window of where the bathroom is.
Right.
I just have to explain that.
Okay.
So they go up, he goes back inside, closes the gated door, and then closes the door. And Sarah the whole time is like, oh my gosh, what's happening? What's going on? And he's like, I don't fucking know, sweetheart. All right, let's figure this out really quick. And then that's when they check the front door and make sure, because it's like, it goes downstairs, but it's again, another one of those, I'm pretty sure you have to have like a code to punch in to get in through the door. And they're down there like rattling the door trying to get in, but obviously they can't get in because it's a locked door.
Yeah.
So they aren't able to get in. He comes back up and he's like, all right, okay. So he's like, they might be able to break through that door sometime, but they're not right now, so we're safe right now, kind of a thing. And she's like, are you sure? And he's like, well, unless they can climb ladders, they're not getting up here. And I was like, but they can climb the stairs in the back. But it's fine, because they locked that door too. So, but I was like, climb what ladders? There's no fire escape. The other exit is the stairs. Like, what?
Okay.
There's no, you're not getting out of, it didn't make any sense. Anyway. So a bit later, we see Frank is sitting there on the couch, and Sarah has her, like, her suitcase on the table. And he looks up at her and is like, packed bag normally means extended stay, kind of a thing. And she's like, yeah, that's what that means. So then he kind of just ignores that for a moment and holds up these two little wrapped presents, right? And he goes, one for you and one for me. Kind of sad that we're his only friends, huh? Because apparently he just went and raided Nash's not Christmas tree. There was no Christmas tree anywhere.
Okay.
There was no Christmas decorations whatsoever at Nash's house, which he's a bachelor. I get it. It's fine.
Yeah.
But like, he was like, yeah, isn't it kind of sad that we're his only two friends? And she was like, Frank, both of his parents are dead. We're his only family. Like, what are you talking about? That's not sad. Yeah. And he's like, well, should we open it? And she's like, Christmas is over a week away. We're not going to open it right now. And he was like, well, honey, I don't think Santa's coming this year. And he keeps giving her this, like, look. Fuck this man.
Or don't.
Yeah, don't. Yeah. So he opens the present while she's complaining about that they're his only family. And he holds up this ridiculously, like, cheap-looking silver heart necklace. So it's just, like, a big solid heart, you know?
A lot of those, too.
Yeah. And... And it's just like, ooh, looks expensive kind of thing. And it doesn't.
What is this
like,
dynamic we're setting up here? Like, this weird love triangle bullshit.
Well, he thinks that she's having an affair with Nash.
Oh, is she married?
Yeah, she's married to Frank.
Oh.
Sorry. They're married. My bad. She and Frank are married. And he thinks that she's having... I'm sorry, did I not say that?
I don't know.
Sorry.
If you did, I did not comprehend that at all.
I'm so sorry.
What is happening?
She and Frank are married.
Okay.
And he thinks she's having an affair with Nash. So that's why all that...
That makes a lot more sense.
But
I was like, this man.
I know, but they don't say that for a while. Like, you don't know that they were married. I mean, I put two and two together because obviously she knew his name, and I took the context clues. But
yeah, I thought they, like, lived in the same apartment building and were just, like, fending for themselves together now because of zombies or something.
Yeah, no, they were married and stuff. And anyway,
wait, were?
They are, I guess. They are. She's leaving him, but hasn't left him yet. She hasn't told him she's leaving him.
Okay.
Until this moment. Anyway.
Everything makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. So he holds up the necklace to her and stuff, and she's like, oh my gosh, it's not like that kind of a thing. And he's like, it seems like it's from...
The heart.
Like, and he knows that he's being a fucking asshat for saying it, but, you know.
Yeah.
And so he opens up his present, and it is a ridiculously expensive looking watch. Like,
fuck you, sir.
Yeah, and she goes, it seems like you got the better end of the deal here, kind of a thing. And then, like swings the necklace at him and is like, maybe this is for you. And, like, you know. And he's like, so why the packed bag? And she's like, I'm leaving you, Frank. And he's like, what? Because of our fight last night? She's like, because of our fight, because of your drinking, because of your anger, just like all this, like just goes off at him. And to prove her point, he throws her suitcase against the wall.
Okay, bye.
Because, okay. And she was like, you killed or like whatever love I had for you after our fight last night. All that love is dead, kind of a thing. And I was okay.
You let our love fern die.
Yeah, basically, it was really stupid. Anyway, but like Frank is all mad because he's like, well, did you sleep with him or like did you fuck him, kind of a thing? And she's like, what does it matter? And he's like, he's my best friend, and like yells at her. And I was like, okay. I kind of can understand if you're upset because that's your best friend and your wife, and I would be pretty angry too. So like. Yeah. That's kind of not okay.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah. But anyway, so later on, Frank is listening to a radio broadcast that is still happening to like come through as he's looking out a window, seeing that all the zombies are like fighting over, or like they're trying to eat some body that they found. When one zombie comes up and like it's the car salesman, grabs a body part from another zombie and shoves that one off and then starts eating it. And he goes, I guess not all monsters are created equal. Like, he's so fucking funny. So, anyway, but then all of a sudden the power goes out and it's really dark, and they had at some point put Nash in his bedroom, and Sarah was in there caring for him, right? And so she sees that the power goes out and is like, Frank. She says it like 7 times. And he's not responding. Yeah. And I was like,
lady,
go find him then. Anyway, she goes out, she finds a big flashlight and comes back in, and she's like, what's going on? And he's like, I just wish I could be out there helping these people, right? Because he can hear people screaming and, like, getting attacked and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, I know, that's what makes you such a good cop. And he's like, just a lousy husband, right? And she's like, now why would you say that? I was trying to give you a compliment. And their acting is so bad. Anyway, he goes to leave, and she stops him. And she's like, where are you going? And he's like, I have to go out there. I have to help these people. Like, that's who I am. It's what I do. And she's like, I know, but you can't get yourself killed, you big dummy. And then they kiss, and then they have sex.
Oh my God.
I know.
Be done or not.
I just...
Do or don't.
I know.
Knock it off.
Or maybe just don't. Like,
just don't.
So the next morning, Frank is awake and sharpshooting zombies out the window with a pistol. Okay. But we see this, like, huge fat zombie walking down the street dressed up as Santa Claus. And he shoots him and kills him, and it's just like, no, like, no Santa this year, kind of I don't remember the line he said, but it was bullshit, And she comes out, and she's like, don't you think that's going to draw attention? And he's like, what does it matter? Blah, 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 just dumb stuff. Anyway, he just decides that they need to look at their food supply, because obviously they're stuck in here. So he's, like, opening up the cupboards and stuff, and she goes to open the fridge, and he tells her not to. He's like, no, don't open it. We can only open it, like, when we go to eat something, because we want to keep as much cold in as possible, right? Which is a super smart thing. But he's like, we have to eat all the perishable stuff first. We'll keep all the cans until that's, like, the last thing, I'm like, super smart as well. But he's like, well, this much food for 2 people should last. And she's like, 3 people. And he's like, we don't know if he's going to make it, sweetheart. And I'm like, he lost a toe. And he goes, well, he lost a lot of blood. And I'm like,
it's a toe.
It's a toe.
I think he's okay.
If he'd be dead already.
Yeah.
If he lost that much blood, he'd be dead. Anyway, so they go back to check in on Nash, and Sarah is sitting there like, this is one of those, like, cuts off in the middle of what they were talking about scenes, like, just in the middle of what they were saying. And she's sitting there, like, she has a cloth to his head as she's, dabbing it on him, and is like, I never slept with him, Frank. And he's like, right, okay. So I'm hating my best friend for no fucking reason, kind of a thing, right? And he's like, well, then why were you here? Why were you coming over here? And she's like, I had nowhere else to go. Like, I don't have any other friends, I guess,
Yeah.
And she was like, plus he asked me to come over because I think he was trying to talk me out of not leaving you. Aww. And I'm like, oh, it's a friend. And the whole time Frank is like,
damn it,
I'm a bad friend, like, just, I'm a shitty guy, kind of a thing. Anyway, and then she was like, they have this ridiculously long conversation about this right here. About how she's like, I just don't even remember when I fell in love with you. She's like, it's like my mind can't even take me back there, kind of a thing.
Sad.
Yeah. And he was like, it's funny, you said that you killed all the love in your heart, and then we had sex. And I was like, stop talking the way you talk. Yeah. Just stop doing it.
But also, like, you don't have to listen.
I know, like,
it's better. You should.
You should, but
you don't have to.
Yeah.
Also, in the moment when you think you're gonna die, that's what people do.
Yep.
So
yeah, your instincts kick in.
Yeah,
the cultist told us.
You mate.
Yeah, you just do it. It's self-preservation.
Yeah.
And he goes, I remember it was our third date when we went to go listen to Mozart in the park and just yada yada. They talk for so long. Well, he decides
set up a cute backstory.
Yeah. Anyway, so Frank later that night tries to go outside and he discovers that most of the zombies can't see in the dark. Okay. Later on in the movie, they call these ones, the slow ones, they call them roamers, and the other ones, the car salesman, they call them speeders. And I'm gonna tell you this right now because I saw someone on TikTok who was talking about this, about how they're like how every single zombie movie out there doesn't call them zombies.
Yeah.
And that is specifically because the term zombie is trademarked. It is copyrighted. You cannot use the word zombie in any kind of sense.
Oh.
So, yeah, so that's why
in the title.
I know, but like you can't actually like refer to them zombies. As zombies. Yeah. I so
makes sense though, because I've always just thought, I was like, people just pick fun things every time they make a new movie. There's all these nicknames, but
And I thought it was really funny too, because I was like, one of my favorite book series is The Forest of Hands and Teeth. It's about zombies, but like they don't call them zombies.
What are they called?
Well, in the first book they call them the unconsecrated. So they're because they're very religious where she's from. In the second and third book they call them mudo, which like is a pirate word for like mute. They can't talk. So
all right.
Yep. So, yeah, later that night, Frank goes outside and he discovers that the zombies can't see him, but they can hear him and smell him, right? So he's out there killing a couple of zombies and then, like, decides to just keep wandering the neighborhood. Like, just keeps going out there.
That seems
like,
safe.
Yeah, I know, right? But upstairs, Nash wakes up and Sarah starts explaining to him, she's like, oh my gosh, you're alive. And he's like, I'm alive. Holy crap. And she's like, you lost a lot of blood. And he was like, how long have I been out? She's like, a day and a half. And he's like, oh shit, I have some Vicodin in my drawer right over there. I was like, why do you have Vicodin in your drawer? And then I remember I just have amoxicillin sitting left over for certain things.
I mean,
so, like,
amoxicillin is one thing. Vicodin is a whole
totally
other
thing. Yeah. So like, so he takes some Vicodin and,
he's gonna have a good day.
Yeah, he's not feeling any pain anymore. Well, then Frank comes back upstairs and he's like, oh, good, you're awake. I have a plan. And he's like, what? And then a second later, we see that Frank is rifling through one of his other dressers and pulls out this bottle of spray. And he's like, it's a good thing I made you go hunting. And Nash is like, yeah, that one time. He finds this bottle of like hunting spray.
Like bear spray?
No, it's supposed to like reduce your body odor so that you can be out there hunting.
Like a neutralizer?
Yeah, it's some kind of odor neutralizer.
That existed.
I didn't think it did either. Not like that. Like, but he's all like, yeah, this is gonna work, kind of a thing. And so he like spritzes himself all with it and goes back outside. And we have him with a montage killing zombies to take me out to the ball game.
What?
Yep.
That's the music
That's
plays
the music,
over it.
Yep. Take me out to the ball game.
He's not using a baseball bat.
He is. He's using Sarah's baseball bat.
That makes it a little better.
He's got a shotgun in one hand and a baseball bat in the other, and he goes, baseball bat. And it takes him so long to kill these zombies. That's why everyone, a baseball bat is not ideal when you're fighting zombies.
No. Good
It's
backup?
ideal.
Sure.
Yeah, it's an ideal weapon against home intruders because they feel pain.
Yeah.
Zombies don't feel shit.
No, you have to bash in their skull.
You have to bash in their skull.
That takes a couple swings.
Yeah, and if you're coming at them, like, yes, a wooden bat's definitely going to do some damage, but, like, not enough damage. You're going to wear yourself out way too fast.
Use a
Just
gun.
don't. Use a gun or use any other kind of bladed object.
Long range.
Yeah.
If you can.
Yes, if you can. If you are going to use melee, you have to use knives.
Yeah.
Like, just...
Cack. But is it just the music of Take Me Out to the Ball Game, or is it someone singing?
Someone is singing Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
That was the wrong choice.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with the music, but it's like...
Yeah. But like, it would have been just so much better if it was like a subtle, like... Or like
I know,
make
right?
it a little creepy.
But
or
no,
something.
it was very much like, take me out to the ball game. Like with, like the, and the worst is that they do, cause it's 1, 2, 3 strikes you're out as he's bashing zombies' heads in. And I'm like, I normally like that kind of shit, but
like if that was in Zombieland,
oh yeah, that would have been so funny, perfect, so funny. But this one was trying to be so fucking serious, and I was like, yeah. Upstairs though, Nash and Sarah are getting fucking wasted. Okay, because Nash
he took Vicodin.
He did,
and he's drinking.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. That's a bad choice.
Oh, that's a very bad choice. Yeah. I mean, not that it does anything in the movie context, but like that's...
But don't
do that. Yeah. So...
Jeez.
Yep.
Idiot.
Right? So they're up there, and they're having this whole thing about getting super wasted, and they're just, like, sitting around chatting and getting drunk and stuff. And then, at one point, Sarah is now super drunk, and is like, oh, I want more, give me more, kind of a thing. And she keeps doing this ridiculous little girl voice. I hate it. Anyway, So he gets up, and he finds another bottle of alcohol, and comes back out, wearing a Santa hat now. And I'm like,
okay.
Whatever. So he goes and he sits down and she goes, yay! Gimme. And I was like, ah!
She is a bad kind of drunk.
Oh. I hated it so much.
You did that really well.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, but she was just doing the whole ooh, gimme, with the hands, and I was like, you're in love with her, dude? How are you in love with her? Yeah. Like, how was anyone in love with Sarah?
He finds that endearing. I don't understand.
I guess when you're a lonely bachelor, and that's all you know. Anyway. Yeah.
Is she pretty? Not
what's
prettier
your definite,
than
not,
how bad that was?
No. Not that pretty.
Okay.
Her maroon shirt she was wearing at one point, though, was like a plum maroon. It was pretty on point. I liked that shirt. Anyway.
I do like that color.
I do like that color. That's about it. That's all I like. But she, like, even does her hair and makeup, and I'm like, it's a zombie apocalypse, bitch. I don't care.
No.
Nobody cares what you look
right
like
now. This is how I would look.
I know.
In a zombie apocalypse.
Right? Very much so. Anyway. So they're totally getting super wasted and drunk. At the same time, Frank is wandering down the streets. I'm guessing at this point now he's deciding, like, to go find food and stuff. Mm-hmm. But he this house, suddenly the lights come on, all the Christmas lights and everything. And so he's like, who's in there? And so he decides to go in and, like, find out what's going on because the power had gone out.
Yeah.
Right? So, so he goes in there and discovers that it's just this little house all decorated for Christmas, like totally ready to go for Christmas. Walks down the hall and finds that there's an attic door. So he goes up into the attic. I don't know why, but as he goes up in there, there's a man pointing a gun at him, right?
Yep.
And he comes up and he's like, whoa, friend, like, hi, I'm Frank. I'm LAPD. And he's like, oh, hello, Frank, come on in. Like, he's like, you're not a zombie. That's fine. Come up, And he's like, yeah, me and my son have been hiding up in the attic for the last couple of days because... zombie apocalypse. And he's like, my son hit his head, though, and he's been in and out of consciousness for the last few days, and, like, has a blanket over him, right? Like, completely over him. And I'm like,
what? I don't like that.
I don't like that, right? And Frank goes, well, here, let me take a look at him. I'm a cop, right? Like, and he goes, no, he's fine. Just let him sleep. And I was like,
don't like that.
Right?
He sounds a zombie.
Yeah. So Nash is over there, and they're drinking their bottle of booze and stuff back at Nash's apartment. And Sarah's like, ooh, we should play a game. And he's like, okay, what game do you want to play? And she goes, how about...
You say spin the bottle, I swear to God. If you say truth or dare, I swear to God.
No.
Okay.
What I would kill for right now.
Okay.
It's a game she made up.
Carne asada tacos.
Right? Like, exactly. And so she's like, you have to play where you say what you would kill for right now, kind of a thing. And he's like, I don't know what the fuck that is. And she's like, I just made it up. And he's like, okay, well, it's your game, so you start. And she's like, I would kill... right now for a hot bubble bath. And I'm like, stop pretending to be drunk. Just actually get drunk.
Yeah.
Get drunk and say your lines. That would be so much better. Like, then, anyway.
I love watching people pretend they're drunk when they cannot act like they're drunk.
I know, it's so bad. It's terrible. Anyway, so they go on back and forth for a little bit. Renash is like, well, I would kill for a new toe. And she's like, super drunk, right? And then she's like, I would kill for a slab of Swiss chocolate in a hot bubble bath right now. Just like this. And I'm like...
For those who can't see, if anyone has watched Schitt's Creek, she's doing hand movements like the sister does all the time.
Yeah, with the fingers and stuff.
Fingers and hands, it's all of that.
Fuck my life.
That's what that is.
Yeah, so they're going off for a minute, and then finally they get to the point where he's like, well, I have a secret. And she's like, ooh, no secrets here. And he's like, you gotta get in real close. And she's like, okay, tell me your secret, And he's like, I would kill right now to kiss you. And then she sobers up real fast, right? And she's like, what? And he's like, I just love you, Sarah. I just do. And she's like, you can't love me. And he's like, but I do, though. And she's like, well, weren't you going to ask me, like, not to leave Frank? And he was like, well, yeah, I love the guy. And if you left...
You're married.
Yeah, you're married. Yeah. And he's like, he's my best friend. He's like, but if you left him, I'd never see you again. And I was like, that doesn't mean shit. If you're still friends, like, you'd still see each other.
Yeah,
like,
or if you're like, hey, also, you're single now.
Yeah.
want to come and...
Yeah, like, but I don't know. I feel like...
I guess it depends on how you weigh out your friendship versus your love for this woman.
I know. I really think, like, his big thing, like, if the zombie apocalypse hadn't happened, I really think he would have been like, I'd rather have her in my life as a friend than not
married
at all.
to my friend?
Yeah, I don't know. Okay. I don't know what it was. Anyway.
It's a shitty situation.
So she's like, I can't. And they kiss anyway.
No, you can't.
I know. But they're like drunk and making out. Anyway. But their kiss is suddenly disrupted by a zombie screaming outside. And they're like clinging to each other as they go to look out the window. And I'm like, but it's not even like near you. Like, it's not even coming up to your house. Like, what?
Why are you so scared?
I mean, like, I would totally like be okay.
Drunk.
Like, yeah, they're drunk. And I would totally understand them like breaking apart their kiss because they heard
startled.
Yeah. But like, anyway. But then at the same time, a zombie breaks in through the window because he goes up the back stairs, right? Good. And he breaks in through the window, but the windows have all the chains on it, or not the chains, the bars on it, right? And he's all like, oh shit, where's my shotgun? And she's like, Frank has it. And he's like, oh, of course, yeah, that's fine. That's fair. He's out there.
Yeah.
And so he pulls a fucking machete out of his closet. And I was like...
I mean, I was about to say who the fuck has a machete, but literally me in my garage right now.
So
my husband has a machete in the garage right now.
But I'm like, okay, I mean, he is a cop, but like... anyway.
Nerds have them.
So he goes over and he, instead of just like killing it, like stabbing it through, he cuts off the zombie's fingers because, I don't know. And so the zombie pulls his hand back and is like, Shink. I know, right?
Like, come on, through the face.
And then they don't even shut the window. The window stays open for the rest of the fucking movie, right? Anyway.
Okay.
Anyway, so he goes outside because we hear the zombie out there like crying over its cut off fingers, okay? And I'm like, it's a zombie. It's not supposed to like...
It's not supposed to like feel...
But this fucking actor, I don't know why he chose the sound of a dying cat to be the sound he makes as a zombie. He's literally out there being like...
I mean, like maybe it was supposed to be like feral, animalistic.
I don't know.
Whining. I don't know. Okay.
So he goes out there and Nash kills it with a machete, and then for some reason decides to keep being out there. He's got a whole, like, he's missing a toe, he's drunk, he's on Vicodin, and he's like...
that's what it is, it's the Vicodin. And he's like, I can do it.
I don't know if it's, he's like, I'm gonna go find Frank or some shit, but like, he goes out there. Anyway, so Frank is back at Jeff's house, and they hear something inside, and he goes down to the house to see what's going on.
Jeff is the dad?
Yeah, Jeff is the random guy that's in... Did I say his name?
I don't think so.
Yeah, they introduced themselves, his name is Jeff. And so Frank goes down there, and is like, close the attic door, stay up here kind of a thing, you know? And goes down there, and there's a zombie just, like, chilling in the living room, looks up and sees him, and then runs out the door.
It's like, sorry!
Yeah, and I was like...
Also, did you say that they have... So why do they have lights that turn on? Do they have a generator?
No, the electricity came back on.
Oh.
But, like, only at this one house. I don't know. Like, apparently the electricity came back on for everybody, but...
And also, are the Christmas lights on the... Like, outside of the house lights?
Yeah.
I feel like I would turn those off. That's like a beacon.
Yeah.
On the street where nothing else is turned on.
Yep.
Okay. That's all. I just wanted to comment that.
I don't know. Yep. It was really stupid. Anyway.
Okay.
So, Frank chases it outside, and he's kind of running around the house, and another zombie comes inside, so Frank runs back in, kills that zombie, but, like, Jeff is, like, has the attic door down still, okay? And it's like, oh, Frank, let me help you. Bang! 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 Like, just firing randomly. And the whole time Frank is like, stop shooting!
The floor?
Like, no, just like through the attic door.
Oh, okay.
But like, Frank is like, stop it! Stop shooting! You know, and stuff. So he does, and like, he kills the zombie that's right there and then goes back outside. And in the whole process of this shit going down, Nash gets into Jeff's house because he can hear all the commotion. Yeah. But Frank had already gone back outside.
Oh no.
Looking for more zombies, you know? Yeah. And they see each other through the dark window and fire.
Oh.
Yeah. But my favorite, though, is that when Nash gets hit in the head, he turns from the window and fires into the living room. But it apparently hits Frank in the gut. Not that we see this till later, but it apparently hits Frank in the gut. Frank does not act like he is shot at all.
Okay.
Not at all. Okay. Anyway.
It's like it's just a flesh wound.
I know. To me, I would have been like, oh, he got shot when Jeff is up there firing randomly down the steps to like... Yeah. But no, apparently it was Nash.
Okay.
So I don't fucking know.
So
anyway.
Is Nash dead?
So Nash is this like huge like gash on his head.
It just grazed him.
It grazed him.
Okay.
But Frank thinks that he killed him because it's kind of dark, and he goes back inside, sees that it's Nash, and is pretty upset about it because now at this point he thinks my wife isn't cheating on me with my best friend.
What if it was the dad?
I know.
Like, why? You just were in the house and came outside.
Yep.
So why would you think there was a zombie in the living room?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Continue.
I don't understand his way of thinking. Anyway,
No.
so...
But yeah, he's feeling shitty.
Yeah, he feels pretty distraught because he's like, I just shot my best friend who I thought was cheating with my wife, who wasn't, but didn't realize that he was because, like, she was like, no, I didn't do anything with him. Like, he's your friend. And he's over here like, oh, shit, I'm a bad friend and stuff. Yeah. Anyway.
It's okay that you shot him because they kissed and it's fine.
Yeah. So, but he goes home and he just leaves Jeff there thinking that he's dead. But he leaves Nash there, but he leaves Jeff there too.
And not even like, hey, just so you know, there's like this body. Don't worry about it.
Or not even like, I have to go get my wife, or like, you should come with me, or like, just like nothing. Anyway.
Okay.
So he gets home and gets Sarah to cauterize the wound with another knife and the stove, right? Mm-hmm. So the next morning, Frank is explaining to Sarah what happened with Nash, and she's like, what happened? And he was like, it was an accident, like, we shot each other kind of a thing, just, you know, it really was an accident. Like, there's no way that it wasn't.
Why did he have a gun?
Frank?
No.
Oh, Nash? Nash has a police gun.
Oh.
He just had a pistol. Sorry.
Why didn't he use that on the fucking dumb zombie in his house?
I don't know.
Okay. Maybe it was like in his car and he like stopped in his car on the way.
Right? I don't know.
Okay.
So.
Machete.
Yep. So he did have the machete. But anyway, yeah. So they hear a loudspeaker outside making some kind of announcement. We can't hear what it says. I'm guessing they can because they were like... Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And they're like, oh yeah, that's what that says. And I'm like, I don't fucking...
Sure.
I guess that's LA for you. But they notice that the zombies are going towards the sound. Not that it matters because they don't actually leave, but like...
They don't leave?
They don't... Well, they're like walking towards the sound, but then they don't go anywhere. Like there's still zombies there. Like... Okay. Yeah. Okay. So Nash wakes up in Jeff's attic. So Jeff had hauled him into the attic.
What a strong man.
Right? And
Is it the kind where you like pull the stairs down?
Yeah.
Jesus.
I know.
I mean, that's a smart plan for zombie times, honestly. But like, damn.
And at one point he was like, yeah, they don't come up here. I don't know why. I was like, maybe because you have the attic door closed.
There's no stairs.
Yeah, there's no stairs. Yeah. So it just, anyway. Okay. And so Nash wakes up. He's got a bandage over his head. And Jeff is like, yeah, I thought I was going to lose you there. I'm glad your fever broke. And I was like... Anyway, but my favorite is that Nash loses a toe and is out for a day and a half. Mm-hmm. He gets shot in the head and it's fine.
He didn't lose a lot of blood.
I guess not. But there was a lot of blood on the floor. Like, I don't know. And I'm just thinking, overall, this man doesn't have enough blood to lose. Like,
no.
It just...
Apparently.
No. But... He's like, how long have I been out? And Jeff's like, I can't say. Apparently. So when Sarah had said, it's over a week until Christmas, I am assuming at the very least 8 days.
I thought you said like 5 days.
When she said over a week till Christmas.
Okay.
That's what she had said in the movie.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, so we have like a few more days to go.
Like 10 days.
10 days. No, apparently now it's Christmas.
Okay.
Yep, it's just suddenly Christmas. Not that they say that right now, but like they say it in a little bit. But like, he's out for, I don't know, maybe a day? Maybe? Yeah. Like, maybe?
Also, why can't the dad tell how long he's been out?
I don't know.
Do you not know what the sun cycle
is? And he's just like,
do you not get light through the window?
Yeah.
Like, are there windows in the attic?
There is one.
Like the little front window?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the ventilation windows? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's that, but
like,
he's
we've
not...
been sitting in silence for so long, I just don't know how long you've been here.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Anyway, so he offers some food to Nash, right? And Nash is like, is that still good? And he's like, yeah, I just opened it a couple minutes ago. He's like, well, then what smells like death up here? And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Is he's fixing the blanket over his son?
Nothing.
Right?
Shove.
And he's like, I haven't showered in a few days. Right? And Nash is like, well, thanks for this anyway. And Jeff's like, well, yeah, it's what we do. We take care of each other now, right? And I'm like, Jeff, you know. And anyway, so Nash is like, have you looked out the window? And he's like, nah, I just haven't thought to. And I'm like, why? What else are you doing up here then, dude?
Just staring at his dead
zombie
son.
Yeah. And then Nash goes out, looks out the window, sees there's just a bunch of zombies wandering around, and turns to Jeff and goes, have you ever been in love? And Jeff is like, yeah, I'm married. I got kids. Like, yeah. And he's like, oh, I just, love sucks. And he's like, well, I mean, I guess that depends on who you're talking to. And he goes, do you think monsters can feel love? And
what
he's like,
is happening?
No, like they just eat people. And he was like, I guess they're the lucky ones. And Jeff is like, we're the lucky ones. What are you talking about? Who are you? Like, get out of my house. Kind of weird.
We're not in this together anymore.
Yeah. He's like, I don't know. I just love that he's like, well, yeah, I'm married.
But where is wife?
I don't know. I don't know where she is. Apparently she died, though.
Also, maybe this is jumping the gun, so we can cut this out if we need to. Mm-hmm. Are these the kind of zombies where you can only turn if you're bitten, or if you die, you're a zombie?
So far, only if you're bitten.
Okay.
It's
not like a disease. It's like, well, I mean, it is, but it's not like airborne.
So far, as far as we're aware, it just has to be spread through a bite. Not that they know how the zombie apocalypse has started, but
it's just a zombie.
It's just there, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it is like the first week of the apocalypse, so I guess people don't know. So, but back at Nash's apartment, Sarah goes outside for whatever reason. I don't know how they knew this was coming. Maybe it was the announcement that I couldn't hear.
Right.
But so she goes outside as Frank is upstairs with a gun, shooting off a couple of zombies to keep them away from her, when a Hummer pulls around the corner and she's like, hey, over here, when that totally could have worked if you were inside your house still.
Waving out the window.
Yeah, because I would have been like, oh, that's not a zombie. That's a person, not somebody standing on the grass being like, rah, Anyway, so the Hummer pulls up, and these group of people get out in full kind of, not riot gear, but they look like they just kind of been scavenging baseball. What the one girl is wearing a catcher's outfit. She's got the shin guards and the just
whatever armor they can find.
Yeah, and she's got a helmet on and just all this stuff. Anyway,
okay.
And you would not believe who was one of their lookouts.
I'm so excited.
Dr. Zandor.
Are you shitting me right now?
Does he say a single line in the movie? No, he doesn't. He literally is just there.
What the fuck?
I don't know.
What?
Yep. He's just there in the movie. And I was like, okay.
For those of you who don't know, he's a very random foreign actor from the Occult movie that we reviewed a few episodes ago.
Yep.
What?
Yeah, he's just there. And he's in this fireman outfit and but with a bandana and still has the beard that he has in The Occultist. And I was like, okay.
And the long hair, but it's pulled back now.
Yeah, but it's pulled back, yeah. And I was like, all right, dude. But
hey, at least Shiva didn't show up.
Oh, yeah. But, they're straining, they talk to him a few times, and all he does is nod at them. But, yeah. Anyway, so they get out of the car, and they've got, AK-47s, and she's got, an SMG, and they spray a literal hail of bullets at these zombies. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Just...
That's a waste of ammo.
It's absolutely a waste of ammo. And listen, okay, an SMG definitely is more of a, you pull it once, it shoots a bunch, okay? Yeah. I get it. I play those video games. I know it, okay? But, and they're spraying at their bodies. They're not even aiming at heads.
And have you seen a zombie movie?
Yeah,
people?
But I'm but an AK-47, it can do rapid fire, but you can also do single shots, and they're not. They're just rapid firing at these guys.
That's stupid.
And it is CG blood.
Oh, no.
It's just...
Practical blood, my friends. If you are ever making a movie, please, dear God, use practical blood.
Well, they did for some of this movie, but, not for, when they shoot at things.
CG blood does not look good unless you're paying millions of dollars to do CG blood.
Yeah.
So stop
and it's not. But it's just really bad. Well, but, I mean, Nash, when he was killing the zombie earlier, when he cut off his fingers and he was, hacking at him with his head and stuff, they just had, this, ocean of blood come out of his shirt all of a sudden.
Oh, boy.
Anyway, so they get upstairs, and they are talking to Frank and Sarah and stuff, right? And they're like, oh yeah, we're just going around. We're trying to find other survivors. We've got a base set up at this airport because it's fenced in. So so they've taken all of the planes and they're living in the planes.
Oh.
And they're like, well, how many people do you have? And they're like, a couple thousand. And they're like, in LA, you've only found a couple of thousand people.
Yeah, there's literal millions.
Yeah, but they're like, well, we're still trying to find survivors. We found you guys. There's probably more out there, right? And they're like, well, we want you to come with us, kind of a thing. And they're like, okay, we'll come with you, but there's another thing. There's a guy, Jeff, down the street. You got to go get him. And they're like, okay, we'll go get Jeff, and then we'll swing back for you guys. And they're like, okay, let's pack up some stuff. And they're like, pack light. And they're like, don't worry, we'll just bring food and weapons. And they're like, okay, cool. And they take off, right?
Okay.
So they leave. They go down to Jeff's house, right? Get out of the car and, have this whole plan set up of what they're going to do to, go inside and find Jeff,
Okay.
And, oh, sorry, they're still talking to to Frank and Sarah. My bad, I skipped a whole part. So they're like, what's going on? What is this? And they're like, well, we've kind of figured it out. There's 2 different types right now. We know that there's the roamers that are really slow. They just kind of meander around, and they're like, and then there's the speeders. They've got something inside them. And they're like, something? What is it? And they're like, I don't know. But they like cut them open, and they found that it's like wrapped around their brain stem, and it's got something to do with like their reptilian, some other hullabaloo. I don't fucking know. I don't know. I have no idea what they were talking about.
Like your lizard brain?
Yeah.
Portion of your, because your brain stem is like what gives you fight or flight.
Yeah.
Lizard
but
brain.
It's like controlling your baser instincts kind of a thing. And I'm like, okay.
Did some alien come up and go through your nose and connect to your brainstem? Or like, what is happening?
I don't know. They don't explain it very well at all. Like, they were basically like, yeah. And the guy is like, or they're like, well, what's the difference between the speeders and the roamers? And they're like, whatever that something is that's in them. And he says, it's like Almond Joy's got nuts. Mounds don't. Like the candy bars.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that's stupid.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the girl that's there is like, they just kill me. Anyway, yeah. So then that's when they leave to go find Jeff. And Frank and Sarah are packing up their little food thingy and everything when they hear screaming outside. Okay. And we also are back at Jeff's house, and apparently the zombies had come and attacked the group as they were about to go into Jeff's house. And Elsa, the woman, is the only one that's able to get away. And for a good hot minute there, I was like, why are you running like that? Because she's like doing this really weird, like random jog. I was like, what are you doing? No, she doesn't seem hurt. She just has this like ridiculous jog that she's doing. Okay. And then I was like, is it your pads? Is it your leg pads that you're wearing? Your
shin guard?
Your shin guards? Yeah. I was like, why are you running like that? Okay. Anyway, Frank sees her outside and runs out and helps her and gets her back inside. And she's covered in blood. She's got, or blood splattered on her, I should say. Not completely covered, but she's got blood splattered on her. So he gets Sarah to get a change of clothes, gives a change of clothes to her, but he's like, get undressed right here where I can see you. And she's like, what? Excuse me? And he's like, I want to make sure you're not bit.
Yeah.
And he's a cop, so like, yeah. But my favorite though is that he doesn't look at her while she's getting changed. So like, you're not even like,
you know? You're not inspecting.
I know. I'm like, but then to make sure she doesn't change, he handcuffs her to the window railing in the bathroom.
Oh.
Yep.
Why wouldn't he have Sarah
watch her, right?
Yeah.
I guess it's because he didn't want her to like change and then attack Sarah or some shit. Like if she does, but like,
or like, I'll turn my back, Sarah, make sure she's good. Like, so he's still there.
Yeah. Okay. But he's standing there, but like not even watching. So like, it was weird. It's just like, he's standing there with like kind of just like glancing away, you know? And I'm like,
trying not to watch, but you just said you wanted to.
Yeah, because you're like, I want to make sure you're not bit kind of a thing. I mean, it definitely wasn't very sexual, but like, yeah, it was still like, and Sarah's there like, oh, I can't believe you're doing this right now. Oh.
Do you want to
like,
die?
I know, I was like, Sarah, he is a police officer. He don't give 2 shits. You're the one making out with Nash.
For her to be bitten and infected.
Yeah, and it's just dumb. Anyway, so Nash, back at Jeff's house, goes outside, sees that everybody's dead, and one of the zombies gets past him into the house. So he runs back in to help Jeff, and Jeff is upstairs as he's like trying to help Nash, but the zombie starts coming up the ladder towards him, and I'm like, I thought they couldn't climb ladders.
Yeah.
So like, anyway.
Well, they didn't say they can't. They just said if they could.
I guess. But yeah, so he's coming up at him, and this zombie is like in front of him, and Jeff is firing at him, and doesn't hit him in the head ever, not once.
Oh my God.
Like, are you kidding me? Yeah. So he gets bit in the face, but manages to kill the zombie, and Nash goes up there, sees that Jeff is bit, and is like, oh my gosh, Jeff, no. And Jeff is like, I got bit in the fucking face, man. You know, like just, oh man. And then has this like really sad like, I miss my family. Like, my wife is gone. My other kid is gone. My son, he was a zombie, and I had to kill him. He's like, I had to shoot him, and then just felt so bad he brought him up there with him because, you know, he was a sad dad and stuff. But the whole time he's talking, they undermine it with this ridiculous do, 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 do piano, just like,
gosh.
But it's so loud. It was so loud. The piano music was so loud. Anyway, so he's like, but do you know what today is? It's Christmas. Oh. As he's like holding a snow globe. I don't know where he got the snow globe, but he's holding a snow globe. But I was like, how is it Christmas? How is it Christmas today?
Yeah.
How is it Christmas? Like, I don't, anyway.
It's been a weekish.
I know.
I guess.
Yep. I mean, if it had, at the early part of the movie, had Sarah been like, it's days till Christmas still. I would have been like, yeah, that's fine. Because right now, it's days till Christmas.
General.
Like, yeah. So, like, that's general enough for me to be like, oh, okay, yeah, I could believe that's almost Christmas now. You know, like, anyway. So then he shoots himself in the head. Like, Jeff takes himself out. And Nash is like, dang it, man. You know, like, pretty upset. Yeah. And he goes outside to, I guess, have a showdown with some zombies because he's upset and angry.
Yeah, you gotta shoot some shit.
Yep. And starts egging the zombies on to come out and find him and blah, 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 blah. Well, Frank had handcuffed Elsa. That's her name. She's the woman, Elsa. Handcuffs her there and he leaves. I guess to go maybe try to find Jeff or whatever, right? And he gets to the house, sees that Nash is alive, and they have this stupid, ridiculous little stand down, right? Because Nash is over here like, you shot me. And he's like, I didn't know it was you. And
you
he was
shot
like,
me.
Yeah, he's like, you left me for dead, kind of a thing. And they just have this ridiculous, dumb, oh man, I wish I could just say fuck you to blah, blah, blah. And just, it's so long. It's such a long fucking
in this
scene.
moment, people,
it doesn't fucking matter. But I don't know. And at this point, I don't understand why Frank is being so hostile towards him. Like, he has no reason to be this hostile towards Nash.
No, if anything, you should be, like, running up and hugging your friend.
I know, but because he has no idea any of this is going on. Like, no idea that anything else had happened, you know? But he's so hostile towards him. I think it's just because Frank's an asshole. Anyway, but then a zombie comes up. And Frank apparently had spritzed himself with the spray so that the zombie can't smell him and stuff. But the whole time, Nash is like, you gonna kill it? And he's like, why aren't you gonna kill it? And he was like, because if I turn to shoot it, you're gonna, like, make your move kind of a thing. And he was like, well, yeah, but the zombie can see me, but it can't smell me, so it's gonna come after you first. And I was like, what does it have to... No, if it can see you, it's gonna come at you. Anything. It doesn't matter.
No.
But this zombie is straight up just like... standing there doing nothing.
Like, who do I choose?
Yeah. Anyway, so Nash turns and fires at it and then turns his gun back on Frank because he thinks that Frank's gonna shoot him.
Okay.
And he was like, I kissed Sarah, by the way. Kind of just, you know. And
do you want him to shoot you?
Right? And Frank is now like, you motherfucker. He's like, I thought we were even, you know, like just all this dumb stuff, you know. And he was like, yeah, and you shot me in the head and I kissed Sarah and all this stuff. So I guess we're even, right? And Frank lifts his shirt and goes, well, no, you shot me, so we're not even. You kissed my wife, I'm going to fuck you up, kind of a thing. And Frank is like, oh, so you're going to shoot me in the back? He's like, no, when I come at you, I'm going to come at you from the front. You know, like, I'm not going to shoot you in the back, kind of a thing. But he's like, so no, we're not done. And then I guess they kind of decide to have a little bit of a truce right then with their dumb conversation they were having.
You know, zombies.
Yeah. And Nash goes to tell him about Jeff and then gets punched in the nose.
Oh.
By Frank. And Jeff is like Nash is on the ground with like blood coming out of his nose and he looks up at him and Frank goes, now we're even. And he's like, okay, Jeff inside is dead. And he's like, yeah, I saw. And he's like, okay, let's go. And they get up and they leave and they're friends again, I guess. But they're also not friends, so it's just, guys are weird.
Some men just need to punch other men, I guess.
I don't know. So they go back to Nash's apartment and the woman, or Elsa, who's handcuffed, you know, to the window, the open window that is open.
Right.
Next to the
zombie
stairs.
Didn't break it?
No.
So how...
He just, like, he pushed the netting out, the
screen?
The screen, yeah. He pushed...
So the window was open the whole time?
Yeah. The whole movie.
Okay.
Yep. It can close. The window can close.
Oh, it's like a swinging window?
No,
like
it's a sliding window, like from the side.
Okay.
They just left it open so that he could handcuff her to it. And I'm like, you do know there's a toilet you can handcuff her to, right? There's
many pipes and things.
Yeah. There's so many other things that you could, like, handcuff her to.
Yeah.
So I just... anyway... But she's sitting there with her hand there, and the car salesman zombie comes up, grabs her hand, and starts trying to bite at her. And she's screaming and trying to pull her hand away, but he's grabbing at her and stuff. Sarah's screaming. And they also had this ridiculous little showdown, her and Elsa, right? About Elsa being like, are you going to let me out of here, bitch? And she's like, no, I can't. And she's like, Frank will let you out when he gets back. And she's like, are you going to let him do all your thinking for you? And she's like, I do my own thinking. I just happen to agree with him. And she's like, well, you're a dumb bitch. And she's like, you're a dumb bitch. And she's like, I would have turned already if I was going to be a zombie. And she's like, well, I don't have the key. So, like, just, yeah. Anyway, so, but then she starts getting attacked. So Sarah, freaking out, runs to the back door, okay, and starts using the screen door to slam against the zombie to, like, try to get him to like, go over, which it does work. But they're both screaming and freaking out. Well, Frank and Nash come running up right then. And they see this is going on. So they just start firing at the zombie. And he turns, screeches at them like a fucking, like, dinosaur. Like, he is, like, just... Like, yeah, it's so ridiculous. But, like, also, like, really deep and, like, it's just, anyway.
Okay.
Very, very computer. Yeah.
Right.
And so then, but he runs down the stairs and I guess trying to get away because he's one of the smart ones. He's got the red eyes. He's one of, you know.
He's got the lizard brain.
Yeah. He's got, yeah.
Sure.
And I guess that makes sense for the dinosaur screech, but, like, whatever. Anyway, so Sarah, freaking out, like, relocks the door and everything. And Nash and Frank run around to go take out the zombie, which, I mean, smart to take out the smart ones because, you know.
Yeah.
So they are firing at him a couple of times, okay, to, like, I guess incapacitate, I don't know, but they never hit it in the head. So then they look at each other as the zombie, like, falls down to his knees, and they're like, on 3, 1, 2, 3, and then both try to fire their weapons and it's empty because they were shooting at his torso, not his head.
Yeah.
Fuck these guys.
Fucking idiots.
Yeah. Which, I mean, cops. But, like, you're fully aware you have to shoot him in the head at this point.
This is not for, like, stop the guy, shoot him in the knee.
Yeah.
This is fucking kill a zombie.
Yep.
Shoot him in the head.
Yep.
Idiots.
So they decide they gotta fight because the zombie's getting back up, you know?
Okay.
So Nash takes the shotgun and he's gonna use it like a baseball bat.
Okay.
And Frank's got his little pistol and he's like, I'm gonna pistol whip this bastard, you know? Like, and they're like, yeah, let's go. And Frank is like, batter up. And they, I guess, fight it. Anyway, they manage to kill it. Sarah runs downstairs outside with a frying pan because
Rapunzel.
yeah. And she sees the two of them laying on the ground with the very dead car salesman. His head is like exploded all over the ground, right?
Okay.
Like all over. And she's like, oh my gosh, is he dead? And they're like, yeah, we fucked him up. And she was like, okay, good. And they are laughing nonstop. And she's like, what is going on? Why are you laughing? What is happening? What is going on? And they're still just cackling away when Nash lifts his arm and he shows a zombie bite on him. And he looks at Frank and he's like, you too? And Frank pulls his shirt away and he's been bit on the neck, right?
Oh, no.
So now they've both been bit. And she's frantically crying at this point, being like, what does it mean? What does it mean? And they're like, it means we're gonna fucking die. What are you talking about, right? But Frank goes, you know what? You want to know the worst part about this? And Nash is like, yeah, what? And he's like, I just found a clip with bullets in it.
Okay.
And I was like, fuck you. Anyway, he loads the pistol with it and gives the pistol to Sarah and is like,
here you go.
There you go.
Do
And
the
she's
thing.
like, I can't shoot you both. And they're like, do you want us to become these creatures? Because we don't want to. And she was like, oh, I can't. And Nash is like coughing up blood as he looks at her and he's like, I love you, Sarah. And she's like, I love you too. And then shoots him and he dies. And yep. And then she has this whole little ridiculously overly long goodbye with Frank. And he hands her the hunting spray. And he's like, I need you to live. Otherwise, all of this has been for nothing. And she's like, okay, Frank, okay. And he lays down and then she shoots him in the head and goes back to the apartment. And Elsa's sitting there, like, with her head against the wall, like, oh my fucking hell. And she's like, you okay? And she's like, fuck you, right? And I'm like, yes, yep. And she's like, yeah, you're okay. Then tosses her the key and is like, this'll help too, and hands her the spray, like, the, you know. And she's like, it keeps them off of you, I guess. Not that it does, it just, anyway. But she's like, it helps. And then she goes, where did you say your airport was again? End of the movie.
What?
Yeah, that's how it ends.
Was it a 50-minute movie?
It was an hour and a half, yep.
Okay. That's another one of those movies where I'm like, what's the point?
Nah.
It's just about fighting zombies and bitching with each other.
Yep.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
This took you 2 sessions to get through.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, what the fuck is happening? I showed Zach some of it and he was like, this is a bad movie. And I was like, this isn't a Christmas movie. Why would they even call it a Christmas movie? Sons of
what's
bitches.
with the Christmas
like,
title? That's not nice.
I don't know. It just happens to be a movie happening around Christmas time.
This is clever.
Yeah, I'm like, no, it's not. No, it's not.
Okay. All right, well, give us the rundown. What did you think?
I hated it.
Okay.
I hated every minute of it.
No wonder it's a 4.
Yep. The only part I liked was when Nash had his toe shot off and they were about to cauterize the wound and stuff, but they were like cleaning it with alcohol a little bit. But he was like, okay, but be careful. I just had my carpets cleaned. Like, that was the best part of the whole movie, was that he was trying to have a little bit of humor in the fact that his toe was about, like, to be cauterized, and, like, it just...
Okay.
Yep. So...
Okay.
Yep. It was just bad.
Okay. Yeah, that was really short.
Yeah.
You were not lying when you said it was going to be a short
It was
one.
a really short one. I cut out, like, there were a bunch of just, like, there was a couple of other montages that happened, but, like, just, yeah. It was bad. All of it was bad. Just bad. The effects, the only thing that was good was the zombie makeup, I would say. Like, but only on some of the zombies. Not all of the zombies. Just some of the zombies.
Okay.
And it It was bad. It was just really bad. Like, I hated all of it. The acting was bad. The story was bad. All of it was bad.
Okay, so it was a 4.
I don't know how a 4 was given to these people. Other than unless everybody was like, zombies looked good. Everything else sucks. Like,
all right.
That's it. It all sucked. It was a bad movie. I'm angry that I watched this movie all the way through. I got about 20 minutes in and I thought I should change movies. And then I thought, I'm already 20 minutes in.
Gotta stick with it.
I gotta stick with it.
It's Friday. I gotta stick with it.
I was so mad that I watched this movie. So. Yep.
And the whole, like, secret professor, what's his face?
Oh, yeah, Dr. Xandor.
Yeah, Dr. Xandor. Yeah.
And I guess I should say it was filmed way better than The Occultist was. That's good. It definitely had a better film photography, whatever.
And it's not like a Tomcat, right?
Nope.
It's just a random... Mm-hmm. Okay.
The opening fucking credits that were like, oh, this studio and this studio were so fucking long. It was so long. It was like a whole minute of like studio openings, and I was like, and they all looked bad. All of them looked bad.
A Family Guy joke about that?
Yeah,
I think there is.
They're like, oh, okay, so it's gonna be a scary movie. Oh, okay, no, all right.
Okay.
Ooh, it's a mystery.
Here it goes.
Okay, yeah.
No.
Okay, yeah, no. So I hated it. I hated all of it, and I hate all of you who made this movie.
Okay.
So.
Cool. Mm-hmm. And it had like no actors that you knew except for Dr. Xandor. Dr. Xandor.
Right? That's it. I went and I tried to look up some of the others. Frank apparently has been in quite a few movies that I've never seen, but like, I just hate his fucking face.
Okay.
So.
I mean, he seems like an asshole.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Where did you watch it?
Tubi.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. Home of the bad movies.
Yes. Home of the what the fuck.
Yeah.
Anything else to add, or is that's pretty
it.
much
it? It just sucked. It was a bad movie.
Watch it.
I'm angry. So
bad it's good, or just don't?
No, just don't watch it. It's a bad movie. Just don't. Just be angry for me.
I feel like most people aren't searching through Tubi to find things to watch.
Yeah.
So it's probably safe to say that they're not looking for this movie. But...
Yeah, don't watch this movie. It's a funny thing though, because there is another movie called Zombie Night. That's it. Just Zombie Night.
Okay.
And I'm like, is it a sequel?
Is it related?
I don't know. I don't think so, but I don't know. I should look into it and see if there is, but...
All right.
Anyway.
Okay.
I don't know.
Let us know what you think.
Yes.
Leave a comment on YouTube or send us an email at bmoviebashpodcast@gmail.com. Our podcast is now on Stitcher, Spotify, Apple, Google, Amazon Music, and Audible.
Woo!
Along with a few other random places that I don't. I like Googled our podcast the other day because that's the kind of person I am. And it was on websites that I didn't even put it on. So I was like, okay. That's cool.
Probably something Anchor does, but yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, no, because the Anchor has there's 7 sites that it broadcasts us to, and these were not one of those.
Oh, okay.
It was very strange. But we're on YouTube, so you could go there to watch and check out screenshots of the videos, or of the movies. And if you want to support the podcast, we have a coffee page. I think it's just ko-fi.com/bmoviebashpodcast. No hyphens. And if not, it's on our Anchor page. So if you go to our Anchor, if you find us, you'll find the coffee page. We would appreciate any donations, but you definitely don't have to give us any money.
You don't have to, but we would love it.
Yeah.
Help us buy some new equipment.
Yes. I think that's it.
Yeah.
So, sorry. Have a great time.
Have a great time.